hustling down the court. Lost a little bit of control, knocked it out of bounds, and the referees will give it back to Mini Farms.
So the ball goes out of bounds. There's 0.3 seconds left, so they're not going to be able to get a shot off. So as we go into this first period, as soon as we get this buzzer to buzz, I'm going to tell you a couple of things about our student production team members. Great guys, and I'll give them all the credit they deserve. So let's start with Mr. Caden Castleberry. He's standing right here next to me. He's a cameraman. He's a freshman, and he's been with this production team since day one, since the inception. So I call him Mr. Castleberry. So Mr. Castleberry, thank you for everything you do as a student production team member. Also, we've got Joseph Holden. He's a cameraman. He's also a freshman, and he's been with the team just like Mr. Castleberry has from day one. So Joseph Holden, thank you for everything. Our sports photographer tonight is Eric Lilly. Mr. Eric Lilly is our sports photographer and a cameraman. He's a sophomore. He's kind of the old guy of the bunch. He's been with the team since its inception, and so we want to tell him thanks for being a part of this from the get-go, Mr. Eric Lilly. And then finally, Antonio Kinlichi. He's up here with us. He's a cameraman up in the production booth. He is a freshman, and he was just recently recruited by the production team members. He's got a great eye for photography, very artistic, smart guy. We're happy to have him as part of the production team here tonight. So that's our student production team members, Mr. Caden Castleberry, Joseph Holden, Eric Lilly, and Antonio Kinlichi. So thank you, guys. They're amazing. 3 freshmen and 1 sophomore. We hope they stay with us for all the way through their high school career. All right, you can hear the buzzer. St. John's has got the arrow of possession to start this second period. Trishelle Johnson takes it into Brooke Patterson. And Coach Whiting, what did you see in that first period that you would have done different or that you liked out of the St. John's Redskins to start off with?
I would like to see our girls push a little bit harder to take those shots. Again, I feel like they try to give the ball to their teammates a little bit too soon when they have a shot open. But they're handling the ball well. There's not a lot of turnovers until just
well,
now.
You know how it goes. As soon as you talk about it, it happens. So
Yeah.
number 2, Aaliyah Elliott from Mini Farms gets a nice little steal there, drives down, and the ball gets knocked out of bounds. So Mini Farms going to take the ball out underneath.
But I do like St. John's defense. They are really hustling well on defense. They're causing Mini Farms to create a lot of turnovers, and Mini Farms is not comfortable with a lot of their shots, so they're willing to pass the ball around a little bit more. And St. John's is putting a lot, like I said, a lot of pressure on the ball up high and not giving Mini Farms easy shots.
So for Mini Farms, you just saw that tie up right there. I think there's going to be a jump ball right there. There is. What would you do different if you're the Mini Farm Lobos? It's 11-5. You're down by 6 to start this second period. What do you see that you may want to do different or that you like that they're doing?
I'd like to see the Lobos penetrate. They have a pretty wide perimeter on the ball. They take their time. I do like trying to take their time on offense and take good shots. But they have too many turnovers. Lobos have a few too many turnovers, but our girls, St. John's girls, are playing good defense. So, and Many Farms is pressuring the ball up high as well, and causing some turnovers for us up high a little bit. But yeah, those Lobos need to penetrate a little bit more on the St. John's defense and shoot a little bit more often.
So
timeout.
As a result of that, and that as you're just talking about putting pressure on our offense, the ball goes out of bounds. St. John's is going to take the ball back in when we get out of this timeout. Coach Ray Davis for St. John's called that timeout. You know, an interesting fact you may not know about Coach Ray Davis I want to share is, as far as I know, and I've talked to a lot of people and asked a lot of people I think that kind of know the history of St. John's sports, he's the only coach in the history of St. John's High School who's been involved in state championships in 2 different sports with both boys and girls. He's the head baseball coach. They won a state championship a few years ago with him as the head boys baseball coach, of course, and then also as an assistant coach with the girls basketball team. I believe he's been involved in winning a state championship. I know he's been to the state game several times when they were runners-up as well. So huge congratulations to him. He grew up right here in St. John's. He is an amazing coach, great guy, and we're just happy to have him coach these girls. He does a great job with them. We come out of the timeout. St. John's loses the ball. Mini Farms then promptly throws away, so St. John's is going to get the ball back.
Ray Davis, I had a hard time getting Ray to talk about some of his accomplishments. he is a good coach. The girls like him. He enjoys working with the girls, and they enjoy working with Coach Davis too. He's been with the basketball program for quite a long time, and he works hard with the girls. And a shot by Christina Bushman doesn't quite go in, and she
So Annabella Gomez is called for the foul there underneath on Mini Farms. So Mini Farms is going to take the ball out. Do you know what Miss Villa Gomez's favorite movie is, Coach Whiting? It's High School Musical.
Does not surprise me.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't want to know why? Because they all get along in their school. In the movie, they all get along. Anna Villa Gomez, she's just a great person, friendly, wants everybody to get along, and she's a peacemaker. And so
she is.
That's not shocking that that's her favorite movie.
I've had Anna in class a couple years, and she does get along with everybody. She works really hard to be helpful and create a good atmosphere in the classroom as well as on the court with her teammates.
So Mini Farms brings the ball back in. They push it up. They miss a three-pointer far from the outside.
Anna with a steal.
And speaking of Anna Villa Gomez, she gets the steal and comes down court, passes it back to Trishelle, who gets it to Brooke. And Brooke Patterson drives the lane, and they're going to be called for a blocking foul there. That's going to be number 24 with the Mini Farms Lobos. I believe that's Thalia Johnson for the Mini Farm Lobos. She gets called for the foul. So we are in the 1-1. We're in the bonus here. Mini Farms has, looks like 7 team fouls. So Brooke Patterson gets a 1-1. She misses the front end of the 1-1. Mini Farms gets the rebound. And Anna Gomez promptly steals the ball. Doesn't get fouled, although it looks like she did, but it wasn't called. And then Mini Farms throws the ball out again. So a lot of sloppy ball handling here.
You know, there is up and down the court. I feel like both of these teams are really throwing the ball away back and forth on the court a little too much here. I don't know if it's some jitters coming back from break. These girls have played. This is the third game that St. John's has played this week. St. John's played earlier in the week against Round Valley over in Round Valley. Then last night they went over to Snowflake and played Snowflake. And with no break in between, no practice, they're playing Mini Farms tonight. So maybe that's a little bit, they didn't get a chance to practice in between their game from last night against Snowflake and the game tonight here in Many Farms. So it's a little bit tough sometimes when you don't have a practice in between. Brooke Patterson to the line again. This one she makes right through the net. And putting in number 4, Henrietta Benally from Many Farms. She's going to go under the basket and try to rebound. We'll see if Brooke Patterson can make her second shot of the. Nope, rolls right over the top of the rim. Scramble for the ball. Anna on the floor. Anna's a go-getter. She dove right on that ball.
Great hustle there. Possession error goes to St. John's on the jump ball, and Trishelle Johnson's going to bring that ball in. Looking for the inbounds play. She looks over to Lizzie Farmer. Mini Farms knocks the ball out of bounds, and we're going to get it again. She's having a hard time bringing the ball in, dribbling the ball up the floor, like you said. This is their third game they played. They played a tough opponent in Round Valley earlier this week. I believe they played Snowflake. Was it just yesterday? And here they are again.
That was a nice move by Trishelle. Good decision by her to let the defender fly by and then try to shoot the ball. But now Many Farms is on a fast break and makes the shot. Number 24, Thella Johnson with that lane. Pushing up the ball pretty and taking a shot. Anna Villa Gomez with the rebound and the putback.
They're going to call that foul on number 32, Brooke Patterson, going over the back of the Mini Farms Lobos player there. And one thing I want to share with you while we got a quick break in the action. In the state rankings right now, the current state rankings, St. John's is ranked number 3 in the state.
Yes.
And that's according to the PowerPoints, which, of course, nobody can understand. And it's a big algorithm that apparently is proprietary. No one can understand it. They won't share the algorithm with anyone. So you figure out how that works. Let me know. Anna Villa Gomez with another steal. She goes up the court. The ball gets stolen by Mini Farms. From Anna, they bring it back up the court. So it's just continue to passes out of bounds, steals, passes out of bounds, steals.
Nice shot by number 2, Aaliyah Elliott.
We get a nice shot by Aaliyah Elliott from the Many Farms Lobos. She hits a three-pointer, and all of a sudden, St. John's is only up by 2 points. So with 4:24 to go here in the second period, the score is 12-10. St. John's Lady Redskins are ahead here in the Verl Heap Gymnasium. But going back to that PowerPoint issue, they are number 3rd, and that was of Friday, January 10th. So may have changed a bit when it comes out.
I talked to the coaches about their goals for the second half of the season, and Ray Davis said our goal is to win our section. They're keeping their eye on their opponents that they will have to face when they go to state. Bisbee's ranked number 1 right now in the power rankings, and Coach Davis told me they have a 5'11" girl who scores on average of 18 points per game, and that's something they're going to have to look to if they're going to take down Bisbee. But for now, Coach Davis said we need to win our section. We need to take it game by game and not look past anyone. Then they played a tough opponent last time we broadcast the game against Alchese. That was a big win. Alchese is a good team. And the rest of their season, they're looking to just keep improving so that when they go to the section tournament, they can win it outright and be sitting really good to go into the state tournament at the end of the season.
So with Joanne Wall out, what do you know about Joanne Wall other than, of course, she's a 5'6" junior?
Joanne Wall is the top rebounder. The coaches told me she was the top rebounder, and she's number 3 on the team for scoring points. So when someone like that is not in the game, and however many games she does have to sit out, they have to work hard to replace that. And the girls so far are doing a good job not having Joanne. It does hurt not having one of your lead scorers and number 1 rebounder on the team out on the court.
So obviously a speedy recovery wish to Miss Joanne Wall. I hope she's okay. I heard it was her ankle, and she's walking, but she has a little pain when she pushes off if she tries to really accelerate, cut, jump, move, that type of thing. So hopefully that'll get better over time.
I believe there was a foul called on a Many Farms player.
So Many Farms called for a foul. They've got 19 fouls. So St. John's is going to go to the line, Miss Brooke Patterson. She is shooting, it looks like a 1-and-1. There are 6 teams fouls on St. John's. So
Coach Davis was a little bit worried about their free throw percentage. They told me currently they're shooting about 60% from the line, but they need that to be a little higher. And with Brooke making that shot, that'll help their percentage.
so 60% as a team.
Yes.
And what do we got on their field goal percentage? Do you know? Just shooting from the field. What do you know about that?
Coach Davis said they're probably running right around 30% from the floor, which, again, Coach Davis was not super happy with that, but said they were working on it. That was including any 3-point shots too, and 3-point shots go down a little bit in percentage, but just in general from the field, about 30%, he said. So we've got another full timeout here called. I believe that was called by St. John's. The score right now, 14-10. So we've pushed the lead a little bit ahead since the last timeout, but still, Coach Davis is probably not very comfortable with only having a 4-point lead with only 3 minutes and 43 seconds going into the end of the first half of play here at the Rural Heat Gymnasium. St. John's Redskins playing Many Farms Lobos.
So this is actually our first broadcast of the new year. It's January 11th, 2020. We're excited to be back here with Legacy Teen Productions. This is in partner with the Loft Legacy Teen Center. If you haven't been to the Loft Legacy Teen Center, let me tell you what it offers. A fun, safe environment for high school age teens to spend quality time with friends. All kinds of programs, activities. Let me just tell you some of the things that are offered down there real quick. There's guitar lessons, painting classes, photography classes, music production and video production, and you can record all that music and video recording down there. And you're going to like this, Coach Whiting. There's cake and cookie decorating down there at the Loft.
Like that.
Makes you wish you're back in high school, huh?
It does. It really does.
For a lot of reasons, but so you can go down to the Loft and decorate cakes and cookies. So we're back to the game. We come out of the timeout. Many Farms has the ball. It's 14-10. St. John's is up by 4. St. John's still in that pressure man-to-man, keeping the ball out on the perimeter, and Many Farms is having a hard time getting it underneath. So Many Farms has taken a lot of shots from outside the arc. Their percentage isn't super high. They try to go inside right there, and the ball is stolen by Trishelle Johnson. So nice defense by St. John's on the man-to-man to keep Many Farms out and making them shoot a lot of shots from the outside.
That was a nice shot by Brooke Patterson. We need to see more of that. I know the shots might not be falling right now for them, but that was a nice little move by Brooke. She made a good decision to pull up and shoot. And her teammate was fouled, and they're going to get to go to the line.
Yeah, and after Brooks' shot, nice hustle by Liberty Rabin down there on the right underneath the block to come up with that rebound. She puts the ball back up, misses the shot, but she's fouled, so she's going to get 2 shots right. And her first shot goes off the front of the rim, hits the back, and falls in for a point. So 15-10 St. John's. Here comes her second shot.
At Lizzie Farmer and Brooke Patterson down there to snag the rebound.
Just misses off the right side of the rim. Many Farms pushes it back up.
Raven Lindsay stopped that fast break right at the half court line, stopping the Many Farms girl. And now we're playing good defense. Raven Lindsay getting a jump ball call. Nice hustle by Raven Lindsay, a senior this year for St. John's. And Many Farms will inbound the ball. St. John's still in a man-to-man. Liberty Raven trying to put pressure on the ball. Lizzie Farmer hustling back on defense.
So here goes Many Farms to the inside again. They're trying to get inside to number 4, Henrietta Benally. She can't penetrate. She pushes it back out, and Many Farms misses that three-pointer again. So continuing shots from the perimeter for Many Farms just are not falling. St. John's is doing a great job keeping them from the inside. Trishelle Johnson looking her offense over. She's looking underneath, trying to get the ball down to Lizzie Farmer, Liberty Raven. Brooke Patterson with a beautiful kick-out pass to Lizzie Farmer, who scores
Nice
from the
ball
left
movement.
wing. That was very, very well done. Inside, Brooke pushed it back out, and Lizzie made a nice shot right there, a little 12-foot jumper from that left block.
That was a very smooth offense by St. John's, moving the ball clean and crisp. Brooke making a very nice cut, creating the shot for Lizzie Farmer, and Lizzie's shots go in.
Now, again, there's Henrietta Benalla, number 4 for Many Farms. She tries to drive. There's 3 St. John's players collapse on her, so she can't drive the middle. And they force the ball back out. Stolen again by St. John's. So Many Farms sets up in their defense. Trishelle Johnson with a nice three-pointer right from the top of the key like she did earlier in the game. That's a great shot on her.
Trishelle Johnson just pulled up and fired that ball and made a three-point shot.
So St. John's is back. They're up by 10. Again, it's 20-10. There's about a minute 23 to go in this second period, and we're going to get a foul called right here. On the ground, non-shooting. St. John's has got 6 fouls, so looks like they're going to take the ball out on the Many Farms end. Oh, called it shooting. So she's going to get 2 shots because we are in the 1-and-1 bonus. So 17 fouls for St. John's. Looks like it's going to be a 1-and-1 shot. It's going to go on the first side here. Brooke and Lizzie Farmer underneath for the rebound. Many Farms is going to contest the rebound. So on that 1-on-1 shot, she misses. Lizzie Farmer gets blocked out by the Many Farms player. That's number 4, Henrietta Benally, who gets that rebound off the foul shot and makes a nice basket.
Trishelle Johnson caught a long pass down the court, but decided to try to take it back up top and then drives and makes the shot.
What a great shot. Trishelle Johnson, last 5 points right there. She hits a three-pointer, comes back down, drives the lane. Nice little running lane, gets fouled, so she's got a chance to put her 6-point on the board in like the last minute.
Yeah, Trishelle Johnson, I really like how she penetrated, looked for it, didn't like it, came back out, and when the defense relaxed, she turned right back around and drove. So checking in for St. John's is number 20, Brooke Smith. This will be Brooke Smith's first appearance in the night. And Many Farms got the rebound and taking it down the court. Brooke trying to put pressure on the ball. And Many Farms with a nice little lay-in. That was number 4, Henrietta Benally.
She scored the majority of their points, and she's done a good job. And there's a nice shot right there by number 20, Brooke Smith, just right off the front of the rim. Many Farms brings it back down the court, and Brooke Smith goes for the steal again. She doesn't quite make it. Ball goes out of bounds. Many Farms gets the ball. So Brooke Smith checking in. She is a 5'5" senior. Great to see her get into the game. I have her down as a sophomore. Have Brooke Smith down as a sophomore. I apologize for that. She's a 5'5" sophomore. While we're talking about her, let me tell you her favorite color. This is interesting. Seafoam green. Brooke Smith's favorite color, seafoam green. I'm going to have to look that up because I have no clue what that even looks like. Trishelle misses a shot over the rim from the right baseline. Looks like we're going to have a foul called on St. John's. And so Many Farms is going to go the other end of the floor, and they're going to get a 1-on-1. You want to take a guess at Brooke Smith's favorite movie? It involves dinosaurs. If you guessed The Good Dinosaur, you guessed Brooke Smith's favorite movie, The Good Dinosaur.
And if you know Brooke Smith, she is a good person, and she would like The Good Dinosaur
right?
very much. That is probably her best friend.
So on that front end of that 101 by number 33, Audrey James. That's a nice shot there on that front end of that 1-and-1. She puts the ball in, so she's got a second shot on that 1-and-1. See if she can make her second shot here and get the Lobos up to 16. She does. So it's 22-16. Many Farms Lobos versus the St. John's Redskins, winding down the first half. 10 seconds to go. Lizzie Farmer called with a travel down there on that
I
right
liked how
wing.
St. John's got the ball down, pass, pass, pass. They did a good job moving the ball very quickly down the floor and just got a little ahead of herself and traveled. Now, Many Farms has got the ball across the half court line trying to beat the clock. Long 3-point shot, but missed. Brooke
Almost
Patterson
gets
with
it.
the rebound, which brings us to halftime.
Halftime. So just to recap, St. John's Redskins taking on the Many Farm Lobos here in St. John's at the Verl Heap Gymnasium. It's January 11th, 2020. The score is 22 for the Lady Redskins and 16 for the Many Farm Lobos. So we've got halftime here. I want to talk one more time about some of our girls from St. John's and just go over a few things here. Brooke Patterson and Trishelle Johnson, I call her Sunshine. Those are your captains. They're both seniors. They're hard workers. They're hustlers. They're great athletes. They're your captains. Right now, the record for this team is 14 wins and 3 losses is what I have in front of me. I'm not sure how they did at Snowflake last night. I believe they lost, so that may change that just a little bit, but that's about where they're at. We're looking them up on the internet right now to make sure we've got everything right. And we're giving you records from tournaments as well, just so we have it from tournaments. And as we update that, there's 15 wins and 4 losses. So the St. John's Redskins are having a good season this year with 15 wins and 4 losses. The scoring leaders are Brooke Patterson, Trishelle Johnson, and Joanne Wall. And then to flip-flop that, pretty interesting, rebound leaders is Joanne Wall, then Brooke is second, Trishelle's third. So that's interesting. So you had a chance to talk to Coach Davis. Did he have anything else to say about this team?
Coach Davis, he told the girl, I had a little interview with Trishelle Johnson, and I said, Trishelle, what does your coach tell you that inspires you? And one of the things she said was interesting how she said it, but she had a little explanation with it. She said, Coach Davis tells us sometimes, quote, you are not athletic enough to do that. But her explanation following that was as thus. For example, if we try to throw the ball to another teammate before we've actually caught it, it causes us a turnover. We can't control the ball that way. And so Coach Davis has been really good about trying to teach them you have to have control of the ball before you can put it where you want it. The other thing he tries to tell them is you can't pick up the ball while you're running. You have to control the ball, grab it, and then continue on with dribbling it or whatever else you want to do with it. So, quote, words of wisdom from Coach Davis, you're not athletic enough to do that, but that little phrase has stuck with the girls, and they're getting something from it. Coach Davis also tells the girls you can't throw the ball from A to C. That causes turnovers. It's too risky of a pass. You got to throw the ball from A to B to C to get the ball where you need it. So I went to practice and talked to Coach Davis a little bit. He was working with the girls. Um, Coach Davis wanting their turnovers to be a little bit less than they were, and telling me that some of their turnovers are ball handling turnovers, but they've really cut down their turnovers on bad passing, and he was happy about that. So, and yeah, he said we're really looking forward to the second half of the season here, wanting to win uh, the sectional championship before they went to tournament, and working game by game. Trishelle told me that the coach tells them we have to take each team as they come. We're not going to look past any opponent and work hard to beat the team that's right in front of us and work on the things that we need to. So, yeah.
Well, let me tell you something about the coaches real quick. Our head coach is Coach Ray Davis. He's the head coach for St. John's High School, and then Coach Trevor Waite is the assistant coach. Now, Coach Ray Davis has been coaching for 15 years. He's been the head coach for 4 years. Trevor Waite has been there almost as long. He has been helping out as an assistant coach for 14 years. Then we're lucky to have Brindy Platt, or Brindy Tricky, as she was back in high school when she played there. She was a great athlete, super smart, hard worker, friendly, and she's a great addition to this team. She's actually been coaching for 4 years as an assistant coach. So super happy to have her here. When asked what's her favorite part about coaching, she says the girls. So she loves the girls, loves coaching those girls. So it's awesome to have her out here helping out. Let me tell you something about Trevor Waite. He said the same thing. Working with our kids who want to work hard. He likes to be with those kids that work super hard. So Brittany Platt and Coach Waite have the same philosophy there. And Coach Ray Davis, when asked what he liked most about coaching, or one of the things he liked most about coaching, he said, I love watching the kids grow and how they develop in their relationships, etc. So we have some great coaches here at St. John's. Coach Ray Davis is the head coach. Trevor Waite's the assistant. Of course, Brittany Platt is also an assistant. So great coaches here at St. John's. We're lucky to have them.
And all three of them graduating from St. John's High School. That's a nice contribution that they've given back to their alma mater. And in the
Hey, and I want to give a shout out to, I get this broadcast is getting bigger every time. It's Legacy Team Productions. That's in partnership with the Loft Legacy Teen Center, which is the awesome place downtown. But we have Kelsey Crosby actually all the way out in Missouri watching the broadcast. So we're getting people from all over the states. I've heard from quite a few people since our first broadcast down in Phoenix and different places like that where a lot of St. John's people live. So the farthest away that I'm aware of so far is Missouri. So if anybody knows of anything farther, let us know. So a big shout out to Kelsey Crosby, her little sister, Kinley Crosby, who is a 5'2 sophomore, number 11 for St. John's, is playing tonight. So she's watching her play. So
Kinley
that's
Crosby
awesome.
pulling up 3 points. She's got 3 points. I don't know if all my points are accurate, but Trishelle Johnson would be the leading scorer tonight, and then right behind her is Kinley Crosby. So, way to go, Kinley, and shout out to her sister. Thank you for listening.
Let me tell you something kind of neat about these girls. We've had some things that they filled out and tried to find their information, and it's kind of funny trying to get their favorites and dislikes out of them, movies, things like that. But Kinley Crosby, her favorite color is white. That's pretty cool.
Red and white for St. John's.
Right, red and white. Everything goes with red and white. And then her favorite class, math and science. She says she loves math.
She's a good math student.
Yeah, super smart girl. So that's Kinley Crosby. Now, in talking about the Loft, I need to explain that just a little bit what that is. Our presiding Superior Court judge, Michael D. Latham, had an idea to take what was the Juvenile Probation Center and turn that into basically a fun, high school oriented facility. So he went in there, redid everything. Paul Hancock was instrumental in that. And then, of course, Victor Chavez and JB Engler, who are with us tonight, they all had a big hand in that, going in, refurbishing that facility, making it nice for those kids. There's all kinds of fun classes down there. So there's some things, if they're down there, they're doing things like cake and cookie decorating. We talked about that, video production and editing. They do recording down there. I know that our Justice of the Peace, Judge Butch Gunnels, he actually gives free guitar lessons down there. He's got a bunch of kids down there that are playing the guitar and learning it. Now, in case you didn't know, JB Engler, he's the one that does the art classes. So if you're into art and you like art, come down and see JB Engler, and he can give you some tips. Even if you're not in high school, he's still kind enough to talk to and help you out. And our video production and editing, music and all that, that is the one and only Victor Chavez. He is the Loft manager. He's the day-to-day guy. He's there making sure everything happens. And then JB Engler is the team mentor. And while we've got halftime, we've got a couple more minutes left. I want to mention again our student production team members. In case you didn't hear or you're just joining us, Mr. Caden Castleberry, he's our cameraman. He's a freshman. He's been with this team since the get-go, day one. And then Joseph Holden is also a cameraman. He's a freshman. Same thing. He's been with the team from day one. And then tonight, we're lucky to have Mr. Eric Lilly. He's our sports photographer and cameraman. So he's got the camera run around. He's the old guy of the bunch because he's a sophomore. And then we've got Antonio Kinlachi. He was just recently brought on. He was recruited to be on this team because he's a great cameraman. He does a great job. He's also a freshman. So we've got some young high school kids up here helping us out on this team. I saw Alex Madrid here earlier tonight. I think everybody knows who Alex Madrid is. He's down there on the floor right now. He's got a GoFundMe page because what he's trying to do is buy a 4K camera. He wants to buy a big camera. And he wants, if you know anything about Alex Madrid, you know he gives back to the community. He's been doing this for 10 years. He makes videos of all the events from dance and cheer, softball, baseball, football. He does the school plays, graduations. His videos are absolutely amazing. Go on to his website, Los Madrids. Los Madrid. Go onto his website. You'll see all of his videos there, and you can see his GoFundMe page. Please contribute 5, 10, 20 bucks. If you can do 100, please do. It's going to a great cause. He's going to get an awesome camera. You can go on there and look at videos he's made from 10 years ago, and they're just amazing, and they just capture all these memories for these kids as they go through their high school years, and they can look back and enjoy those. So Alex Madrid is a great guy. His webpage is Los Madrids. Go on there, hit his GoFundMe page, and please contribute a little something to it. Okay, so we're getting ready to come out of halftime. We got about 15 seconds left till you're going to hear that buzzer go off. Coach, what do you want to see St. John's do different as they come out of this second half?
Well, Coach Davis might tell the girls to put on a press. The gap in the score is not so big, so he may have them come out and press as long as they don't get into foul trouble. And they need to watch their turnovers. They need to pass the ball clean and not force it in when they have a teammate cutting through the key. Many Farms has been able to snag the ball. The things I like St. John's doing is they are causing turnovers or causing Many Farms to have a little bit of trouble moving the ball around up top. So if they'll keep pressuring the ball and rebounding good, then we'll be able to transition and come down the court and score like we need to.
Okay, so start the second half. St. John's has got the ball. It looks like Many Farms has got a little bit of a different defense they've come out with here in the second half. It seems to be working so far.
Trishelle Johnson with the ball down in the corner looking, not wanting to force the ball. Kinley Crosby with it now, looking for her teammate, not liking what she sees in the key.
Raven Lindsay's going to take a nice three-point shot from the outside. Barely misses off the back of the rim. And Kinley Crosby with the rebound misses off the back of the rim herself. Many Farms decides to slow things down. St. John's sets up. Looks like they're going to go back to that man-to-man defense.
So in the game right now, we have Liberty Raven, Anna Villagomez, Brooke Patterson, Kinley Crosby, and Trishelle Johnson.
That's the five starters coming out in the second half.
Oh,
nice drive by number 33 from Many Farms. That's Audrey James. She drives and draws the foul. So Audrey James is going to go to the line. This is the first foul of the second half. We're only a minute in. 7:02 left in this third period. January 11, 2020 here
that's
at the Verl
Kinley's
Heap
third
Gymnasium.
foul. She does not like that. She had a sad look on her face when she got that foul called on her.
Well, you know what? She's a hustler, and she's going to be out there working hard, trying to steal the ball. And so she's going to get a foul or two.
And that's okay. Audrey James making her first end of that shot. Point for Many Farms.
So Kinley Crosby goes out. Number 23 comes in, and that's Raven Lindsay. She is a senior. She's a 5'5" senior. She comes in and replaces Kinley Crosby. On this second shot, Many Farms misses, and it looks like Brooke Patterson with the rebound. Nice pass up the floor to Liberty Raven, who goes to drive and is fouled.
That was a nice drive by Liberty Raven. She's fast. She got ahead of that Many Farms girl and wanted to put the ball up, and Many Farms was forced to try stripping the ball from her, causing a foul. So Liberty Raven will go to the line.
So she's going to shoot two because it was a shooting foul. Misses that first shot of that two-shot foul. Brooke goes back to play defense with Trishelle on the second shot.
Raven Lindsay comes in to try to rebound. And Liberty is taking the next shot. And it does not go in. It bounced across the rim. But Raven Lindsay, her cousin, gets the rebound twice. And St. John's ends up with the ball again. They're going to try to score again, setting up an offense up top with Trishelle Johnson having the ball. And Brooke taking a long shot, but missing it.
Barely misses. And that's a jump ball right there because Raven Lindsay ties up the Many Farms player. So we're going to have a jump ball. Arrow goes to Many Farms. You're talking about them being first cousins. So
yes.
Liberty Raven and Raven Lindsay are first cousins playing on the court here tonight. Doing a great job. Super athletic, hustling fast, putting a lot of pressure on these Many Farms players. Thrown out of bounds, but last touch by Trishelle Johnson. So Many Farms is going to get the ball back. So continuing on, Many Farms is struggling a bit passing the ball and moving things up the floor. So we're going to see if they can get a little better. St. John's stays in that man-to-man defense, putting a lot of pressure on the Many Farms levels, keeping that ball up top, out on the perimeter.
Yeah, they're pushing them almost to the half-court line. They're playing good, tight defense. They're moving their feet well, keeping their hands off. Coach Davis has probably coached them through that. We don't need to get them foul trouble by slapping. So they're working hard moving their feet and causing a turnover.
And there's another steal by St. John's. So Brooke Patterson brings the ball up the floor. There's a steal there by number 2 of Many Farms. Aaliyah Elliott gets a steal. She's then fouled by Liberty Ravens, so non-shooting foul. So Many Farms is going to take the ball out on the side. St. John's is going to stay in that man-to-man defense, keep putting pressure on Many Farms. St. John's is up 25-17, so they're only up by 5 points. Nice drive there and a dish up underneath. And Nicole Harvey scores there for the Many Farms Lobos on a nice pass underneath. So it's 22-19 as Brooke Patterson brings the ball up the floor with a long pass over to Liberty Raven, who makes a nice shot on the inside, misses. So with that rebound, Many Farms has a chance to score right here, and they do.
I look for Coach Davis to call a timeout. Many Farms has brought the ball down quickly and smoothly the last 2 times, and there's another turnover by St. John's.
So St. John's is up by 1. That's the 3rd turnover in the roll by St. John's. Many Farms has made 2 baskets on 3 turnovers in the last 3 possessions that St. John's has had.
Now Many Farms has slowed the ball down. They got the turnover, and they're trying to look in and see if they can play smart offense right now. St. John's needs to slow down the ball. Many Farms was pressing, causing St. John's some frustration, and Many Farms has closed the gap 22-21. Liberty Raven trying to keep pressure on the ball out there. Many Farms taking their time. Good passing by Many Farms. And they got the offensive rebound. Nope, St. John's is going to grab that. Now, St. John's needs to control the ball, not make a bad pass, and make a good shot here. We'll see what they do with the ball. Trishelle looking around, doing a little bit of a weave up top with the guards.
So it's kind of a 2-3, almost a 3-2 because their wings come so far out onto the 3-point line. So you're going to see a 3-point shot by Anna Villagoma, and she hits from the right corner, 3-point. Anna Villagoma with a nice 3-pointer puts St. John's back up 24-21, and St. John's goes into a lot of pressure with Liberty Raven pressuring the ball even before it gets across half court.
Still by Anna Villagomez.
And there's Anna Villagoma again with her still. Goes in, gets the lay-in, scores herself. Great job. She just single-handedly bringing them back up. That's 5 points right there for Anna Villagomez. So that's going to be a timeout. Looks like it's a full timeout. So here we go. Coach Davis brings him over. Many Farms coach is talking to the girls, telling them what they should or shouldn't be doing, giving some directions here.
So it looked like Coach Davis put that press out on Many Farms, and they did well. St. John's did well with those last few minutes of the press, pulling up the lead 26-21. We'll see what the Many Farms girls come out and do in response to St. John's press. Don't know if St. John's will keep the press on, but they were successful those last couple minutes there. So
while we've got a little time and Many Farms is coming on the floor, Anna Villagomez, she is currently in the Cosmo program or the cosmetology program with NAVIT here at St. John's. She says it's extremely time consuming, but she works super hard at it and she's very good at it. So
she told me the other day in class, she's just about ready to go out on the floor, which means she'll be able to take clients soon. And she was excited about that.
Hey, if you need your haircut, go see Anna Villagomez right there at the Cosmo program here in St. John's, out there by the airport. Give her a chance. You look good. She'll do a good job on you. Be a guinea pig. Don't be afraid. If she cuts hair like she plays basketball, you'll look awesome. You look better than you did when you went in. All right, so Many Farms brings the ball back out. And St. John's is still in that man-to-man. It's worked for them so far. They've got a lot of turnovers off it, and they're doing a good job on that.
They play great off-the-ball defense when the Many Farms team tries to weave up top, and they're getting some steals from up there. And St. John's does well double-teaming on help side defense, and they just caused another jump ball, and St. John's will get the ball.
So possession goes to St. John's. It's 26-21. We've got 3 minutes and 27 seconds here in the third period. Team fouls aren't an issue yet. St. John's has 3 and Many Farms has 1. Many Farms is back in that very traditional, very well laid out 2-3 defense they've been running the entire game. They get it still up top and bring the ball down. And number 3 for Many Farms drives and goes left-handed. Nicole Harvey. Yeah, she almost scores there. She switched to left-hand and made a nice left-hand shot. Just didn't quite fall. So Brooke brings the ball back down, kicks it inside to Anna Villagomez, and there's going to be a loose ball foul. That's going to be called on number 33,
Now,
That's
Ana Villagomez started to make a little bit different cut through the key and then saw the pass from Book and turned back around and grabbed that ball. That was smart by Ana and causing a body foul by Many Farms because Ana stopped and got the ball.
nice,
So good job, Ana.
nice adjustment on the move. Here's Trishelle Johnson, fakes a 3, dribbles inside with a beautiful move, barely misses. Nice move by Trishelle on the fake, and then to bring that ball and put it up. She's playing some good defense on the other end right now. Lizzie Farmer on the Many Farms player, but the pass over the left-hand side. And they're doing a good job of keeping Many Farms out of the key until that play right there.
Yeah, they got the ball in the key right there, and that little Many Farms player made a turn and a good little shot off the glass.
It's a
And
nice,
Many Farms is pressuring the ball again and causing a turnover. St. John's
nice
gets the
hustle
ball.
right there. But Lizzie Farmer is going to be called. Number 24, Lizzie Farmer is going to be called for a foul down on St. John's' side of the basket. So Many Farms takes the ball out. St. John's has got 14 fouls, and there's 2 minutes, 22 seconds, so 2:22 to go here in the third period. St. John's is up by 3.
Many Farms bringing the ball down to the court. We're picking them up at half court, it looks like now, man to man.
You think our girls are a little bit worn out
There you
after
go.
this many games?
Yes,
Well-
I believe that having 2 games back to back like they did, especially their game against Snowflake last night, that was a tough game. They lost the game, but they worked really hard, and Snowflake's a good team, and it's hard to not have a break in between and have a practice. So maybe the girls are a little bit tired. Their shots aren't falling as much as maybe they want to, but they're working hard on defense.
There's Ana Villagomez with another
And
three-pointer.
Lizzie
She
Farmer.
misses. And Lizzie Farmer gets the rebound, and she is fouled. So number 24, Thalia Johnson from Many Farms is called for the loose ball foul underneath. Trishelle Johnson takes the ball out, and she's looking to pass. She's getting close to 5 seconds. She gets into Lizzie Farmer, gives it right back to her. Same move by Trishelle Johnson. Shoots again, almost scores, a little bit long. And we're going to have another foul called.
Yeah, Ana Villagomez was going for the rebound and ran over the girl. It wasn't an intentional push, but she did push her to the ground. So Many Farms will be taking the ball out.
That's only the second foul for Ana Villagomez. As much as she hustles and works hard, she only has 2 fouls. So good for her. Smart playing, steals, scored a lot of points, and that's only her second foul. We're almost into the fourth period. So Many Farms brings the ball up again. We pick them up at the half court line, putting a lot of pressure there. You were talking about that Snowflake game last night. The girls lost that game by 10 points, but they played so well.
They did. I wasn't at the game, but I talked to a couple people who went, and the girls played hard. Did not let Snowflake run away with the game. So they might be working on some different things after that game here tonight, trying to work out some things, and they are a little bit tired. Trishelle Johnson almost with 2 shots, getting her own rebound. But still, the shots are not falling. St. John's looks like they are having a little bit of trouble getting those shots to fall. But hustling back on defense.
They really are hustling. And they were a lot closer than it may seem. They had to foul there at the end, and so Snowflake was able to score a few baskets. So the game was close right there at the end. So they're coming off a hard emotional loss, a very hard physical game with Snowflake, who's much bigger than our girls are.
In a much bigger school, larger school.
About 3 times,
mean-
little over 3 times larger than St. John's. So good job for the girls to keep things close. Lizzie Farmer with a shot from that right bottom end. She misses, and we're going to have a pushing foul
I believe that was called on Ana
St. John's.
Villagomez. She was trying to go for the rebound and
So
push the girl from behind.
So that's going to be her 3rd foul. There's 48 seconds to go in the 3rd period. So Coach Davis just goes ahead and takes her out.
Raven Lindsay coming in for Ana Villagomez.
So
Raven, a senior this year. And Trishelle causing that turnover and then hustling down the court for a fast break. But
again, kind of a sloppy pass.
Yeah.
Many Farms knocks the ball out of bounds. We're going to take it out underneath. We haven't scored in about the last 4 minutes. We've shot about 9 times. There's
number 10.
And nothing's gone
but
in.
we are getting our own
Here comes shot
offensive
number
rebounds.
11. Nothing scores.
Nice hustle by Lizzie, but didn't quite make it. Man, our shots are just not going in. You
Well-
can feel the frustration all the way up here from the girls. They want those shots to fall, and they're just not getting them to go in.
Well, if you remember, we came out at halftime. Ana Villagomez is the only player, I believe, that scored
Yes.
in the half. She had a 3-pointer, and she scored on a lay-in there and got fouled. So she's the only one that scored in the 3rd period, and we're still up by 3. But
Which means we're playing great defense because Many Farms hasn't created that much of their offense either. It's got
Nope.
ahead of us, even though we're having trouble scoring.
And Mini Farm's doing a great job. Official Gishi Arviso calls that ball out of bounds on St. John's. So Mini Farms gets the ball. There's 10 seconds to go. Down the right corner. The pass is over long. And down to 4. You're going to see a shot right here with the 1 second mark. Nope, she doesn't shoot. Mini Farms runs out of time with no shot going off.
That's
So
interesting. I expected them to pull the trigger trying to get a
yeah,
shot.
I thought we'd see one right there, and with 2 or 3 seconds to go. So it's 26-23. St. John's is leading by 3. But if our numbers are correct, St. John's only scored 5 points in that entire third period, and the only person that scored was Ana Villagomez on a 3-pointer and then a drive-in for a 2-pointer. So St. John's is going to have to come out with a little more offensive firepower here. And
you can hear the music down there. The cheerleaders are trying to motivate the team. Becky Arona and the cheerleaders down there doing a great job cheering on their team here at the end of the third quarter. St. John's is going to have to fire up. They do look tired. They do look sluggish. They are putting up good shots, but just not falling. They're hustling back on defense. They're picking the Many Farms team up at least at half court, trying to pressure the ball and keeping Many Farms from trying to score. So they are hustling, but they are having trouble with their shots falling.
so buzzer rings. Teams are going to come out. St. John's is up by 3. This is the final period. St. John's has played a good, hard, tough game. They haven't scored the points they wanted to. What do they need to do different right here?
So I don't know that they can do a whole lot different except for mentally push themselves through some fatigue and keep shooting the ball. Take good shots, but keep shooting the ball.
Okay. Kinley Crosby, she's a 5'2" sophomore. She's back in the game for St. John. She was taken out earlier on her third foul. So she's back in the game. Ana Villagomez, Liberty Raven, Trishelle Johnson, Brooke Patterson. That's who is starting for your 5. So fourth period, just underway. That's your starting 5 on the floor on this final push in the fourth period. Trishelle over to Anna, back to Trishelle. Back to Brooke. Brooke takes a shot inside. She gets fouled on the shooting hand right there by the elbow. She gets fouled. So she's going to go to the line and shoot 2. That's only going to be, looks like the 4th team foul for Mini Farms. So they're not close to the bonus. They've been doing a good job of not fouling this half.
So that was a good shot by Brooke Patterson coming out the starting of the fourth quarter. And her free throw falls. Bounced it right in. She needs to make the second one.
So 27-23, down by 4. Brooks got a chance to put the Redskins up by 5. She shoots. She does, right through the net. Great form by Brooke Patterson. Great form on her free throw shooting. She shoots a lot higher than the team average of 60%. She helps keep that average up. Makes most of her free throws. Many Farms, nice hustle by Trishelle Johnson. Good anticipation. She goes in and shoots and scores. Trishelle Johnson gets the steal all the way down on the other end of the Mini Farms bench, brings it down, scores herself, draws the foul, so she gets 2. It's 30-23 St. John's. She's got a chance to put St. John's up another point, 31. So that is 2 fouls on number 43, Adrienne Chato.
If my numbers are correct, that would be Trishelle Johnson's 11th point of the game. She's their top scorer tonight.
And she
does not make her free throw.
She misses that one chance on the free throw, so it's still 30-23 St. John's. Great anticipation by Trishelle on that steal she had out there on top. Looks like we're back to the man-to-man. Many Farms is trying to get inside and drive inside. They've been trying to do that all night, and St. John's has done a good job collapsing that inside, making Many Farms keep passing on the perimeter, shooting from the perimeter. Right now, you see that they try to go inside to their big people team.
Yeah, St. John's is doing great with double teaming, playing off the ball defense, clicking on that, keeping the turnovers in our favor. So good job for Liberty Raven for grabbing that ball. And Brooke Patterson being the big defensive person underneath the basket, stopping that girl from driving so that Liberty Raven had the chance to steal the ball.
So Kinley Crosby's in. She passes it to Anna underneath the Brooke, who makes a nice shot, barely misses, and Trishelle Johnson gets the rebound and brings it back out top. Trishelle takes another shot and scores right there on the top of the block on that left-hand side. That's a nice shot by Trishelle Johnson. St. John's is up by 9, 32-23 with 6:20 to go here in the final period. And we're going to get, it looks like, a timeout. Many Farms coach calls a timeout. Brings the girls over the sideline. Coach Davis looking very nice tonight. Has on that nice winter sweater with the shirt, bringing the girls over.
So
Looks looks a little GQ-ish right there. You
he
got to give some
does. He
props
does.
out to Coach Davis. Looking great down there. Looks like a little GQ action for the winner.
Yeah.
So we got 6:17 to go. St. John's is up by 9. They're playing the Mini Farms Lobos and having a real hard time scoring.
Well, St. John's is now up 32-23, so they've come out the fourth quarter and put some points on the board. So good for them for coming out, pushing through some fatigue and some missed shots. They're still missing some shots, but they're crashing the boards hard on offense, and we are getting at least one, maybe two putbacks, or somebody scrambling for a rebound every time. So they're working hard on trying to get those rebounds and keep putting them up, which is good. They cannot get frustrated and miss their shots out of frustration. They just have to keep pushing through it and put the ball up each time.
Okay. And let me tell you something about the Mini Farms Lobos that you may not know. They are 0-7. Their overall record, this is according to AIA, their overall record is 0-7. One of the common opponents that they've played is Alchese. So we played Alchese. Mini Farms has played Alchese. And we barely lost. Well, we beat Alchese by, what was it, 3? No, it's 4 points. We beat Alchese by 4 points. The Alchese beat Mini Farms by like 30-something points.
I see that.
So girls might be a little bit tired tonight. Mini Farms is playing inspired. We're up by 9.
The St. John's girls did not go to a Christmas tournament over break. So this first week back, they had practice. They were in the gym, but they did not attend a tournament. So this first week back after break, it's an adjustment time for them a little bit. I think getting their feet back underneath them, getting back into the gym in a real competition. And again, having coming off that game last night, they're looking a little bit tired tonight, but still working through it. And Trishelle Johnson driving to the basket, and Many Farms getting a foul called. So we'll be taking the ball out of bounds. Trishelle is going to inbound the ball. Kinley Crosby, Anna Villagomez, Brooke Patterson, and Liberty Rabin in the game. And to Brooke Patterson. Brooke, nice little soft lay-in off the glass.
She scores up underneath, and that puts St. John's up 34-23. Mini has not scored in the last almost 5 minutes. Almost 5 minutes in, coming from the third period into the fourth. They have not scored.
And they just threw the ball away. It was a nice look, and could have been a good pass, but the player was just too far underneath the basket, the Many Farms girl. But now Many Farms pressing full court right now on St. John's.
Full court press. It's a box in the bottom, or a box in one bottom, they call it. Many Farms in the full court press, and St. John's throws it away. So Many Farms coach calls a timeout. They go to the box in one press. St. John's throws the ball away. That works for Many Farms. They're down by 11. They're bringing the ball back up the floor. Kinley Crosby being in the game is really helping out. She's doing a great job on defense, making it real hard for them to get inside. And then, of course, you've got Lizzie Farmer and Trishelle Johnson out there.
Nice rebound by Brooke Patterson.
They're doing a great job.
She snagged that ball good and hard, and the Many Farms girl could have gotten it, but Brooke went up and grabbed it quite
strongly. You got Brooke going to the line. We're in a 1-and-1 situation. Many Farms just hit their 7th foul. So in the bonus, 1-and-1. So she's on the front end of the 1-and-1. St. John's is up by 9.
Many Farms pulling back their rebounders. Nice shot by Brooke Patterson.
Very nice shot. You know, something about Brooke Patterson. She's amazing. She does everything great. She's totally awesome. But she doesn't like tacos. Like, how can that be? You're from St. John's, and she says she hates tacos. Like, that's a strong word, hate, but she hates tacos. So I guess she can't be perfect. So she hates tacos. That's all right. We'll forgive her.
Nice hustle by Kinley Crosby and Trishelle Johnson, scrambling on the floor trying to grab that loose ball. Trishelle Johnson looked like she might have got kicked in the face a little bit on that one, but she popped up and is going to push through it.
Well, Trichelle's super tough. She's got a brother that's a state champion wrestler. Her dad is a great rancher and cowboy here in town. She comes from tough folks. So she takes a kick in the face like nothing, jumps back up, and she's ready to go.
Brooke Patterson stealing the ball, getting it to her teammate.
Brooke gets the steal. Coach Davis smartly calls timeout on the steal. As soon as Brooke gets that steal and gets possession, he calls timeout. He's trying to give Trishelle a chance to come over and I think maybe put a contact back in. I don't know if she. But anyways, Trichelle's all right. She's laughing. She's talking to coach. She's going to be okay. Coach Davis smartly calls a timeout to keep that possession of the ball. He's up by 13. He's probably going to want to slow things down a little bit here. We're going to find out here in just a second, see where that goes.
Yeah, the clock is on our side. We don't need to hurry any. We've pushed the lead a little bit here. We've got 4 minutes and 35 seconds left in the game. So if St. John's can keep shooting and keep their turnovers down and not get riled if Many Farms keeps pressing, then we'll be okay. Many Farms is working at it, though. They're not giving up. And here they go with the full court press again. St. John's looking to be careful with the ball and getting it across half court. And Brooke Patterson going to the basket.
Wow,
and
that was a nice left-handed lay-in. Textbook right there by Brooke Patterson. Drives, comes to the left, uses her left hand, smooth off the glass, scores. Very nice. St. John's is now up by 15. So coach not slowing it down, keeping the gas pedal on, trying to get a lead that he doesn't have to worry about in the last 4 minutes of the game. It's a jump ball with Lizzie Farmer.
Anna Villagomez helping out Lizzie Farmer to cause that turnover again. Anna being smart enough to turn around and do some help side on defense and getting Lizzie Farmer the chance to try to steal the ball. Many Farms putting on a full court press again. Almost a turnover, but Trishelle grabs the ball. Kinley getting out of her way so she can dribble, but trying to help out still. Trishelle getting the ball to her teammate Christina Bushman, but not a great pass at Christina's feet and losing it. Now Many Farms long throw across the half court line. Chantel Perry picking up that turnover. Back to Brooke Patterson, and Brooke laying it in with her left hand again.
There it
capitalizing on that turnover. Back and forth. Sloppy basketball a little bit right there, but St. John's ended up with the point.
But Brooke makes it look nice because she gets that nice left-hand lay-in, caps off that little bit of a back and forth. And so we're going to have, looks like it's going to be a foul called on Trishelle Johnson. So to give you a quick rundown on fouls, well, Many Farms is going to go to the line, and Henrietta Benali is going to be shooting. Trishelle Johnson has 3 fouls. Ana Villagomez has 3 fouls. Kinley Crosby has 3 fouls. So we've got 3 fouls on 3 of our players, but there's only 3:27 left to go. And if you're looking at this, well, Many Farms, that's a nice shot by Henrietta Benali, number 4 for the Many Farms. Lady Lobos she has nice form too. Very nice shot from her.
She's made most of their points tonight, I think.
She shoots again, a little long on that shot. So Brooke Patterson with the rebound, pushing the ball up the floor to Trishelle. She tries to go underneath to Kinley Crosby, but it's stolen by Many Farms. Right back to Christina Bushman, who gets the steal for St. John's. Trishelle drives, goes up underneath, draws the foul on number 0.
That was a great effort by Trishelle Johnson.
Right.
Scooping it underneath the basket, trying to get it in, and realizing she was not in a great position to shoot the ball, but pulled herself up and out and drew a foul. So good for Trishelle.
So
she shoots the first half of the 1-on-1 and scores.
She gets it. That foul was on number 0. That's Tierra Deschini from Many Farms. That's her first foul of the game. Trishelle hits both of those shots. It's 42-24. There's about 3:10 to go in this final period here at the Verl Heat Gymnasium.
I believe that's 15 points for Trishelle Johnson.
She's definitely the high point scorer tonight for St. John's. Gets another steal right there. Oh, smartly pushes it up to number 30, Chantel Perry, who scores. Chantel Perry is a 5'1" sophomore. Nice, amazing hustle by Trishelle Johnson. Gets up to Chantel Perry.
Another steal by Trishelle Johnson. She batted it away by her teammates. Now Trishelle Johnson's going to get the pass, go up for the shot, and get fouled.
Trishelle Johnson is just hustling, putting on a show right now. She gets another steal. Brooke Patterson gets up to her. She almost gets a shot, gets fouled. Great hustle out there, putting on a clinic of how to hustle, steal, and score. So St. John's is now up by 20 points. It's 44-24 with 41 to go in this final period here in the Verl Heap Gymnasium. It is January 11th, 2020, our first broadcast of the new year, and Trishelle has really come alive to score.
Freshman Olivia Wilbank checking into the game. This will be Olivia's first time seeing any action on the varsity team.
So she checks in. Trishelle hits that shot. St. John's is up by 21. Now we've got number 20 coming back into the game, and that is Brooke Smith. She's a 5'2" sophomore. She's in the game.
Many Farms trying to weave the ball in, taking their time trying to look for a pass. Many Farms at that free throw also substituted in 3, 4, maybe even 5 new girls off the bench.
So they bring in some of their other players working hard. So Many Farms bringing the ball up the floor. It looks like St. John's is going to stick with that man-to-man defense. Kinley Crosby goes for the steal. She gets called for a foul. I think that's going to be her 4th personal on Kinley Crosby. And it looks like we're going to be shooting a 1-and-1 because we've got the bonus on St. John's. So
Doesn't look like Coach Davis is going to pull Kinley out of the game, but he's pulling her to the sideline, trying to coach her through some of those fouls.
So
and Many Farms is shooting the ball.
Up by 21. Kinley gets her 4th foul, which is okay. She's played a great game. She's hustled super
Olivia
hard.
Wilbank with the rebound.
And then Chantel Perry gets the ball. She brings it up the court. She's a sophomore. Looking around, she gets over to Kinley Crosby. And Olivia comes out to the
Boy,
top.
that girl is really pushing on Kinley.
A lot of pressure there from number 40. That's Zoe Juan. Zoe Juan with the Many Farm Lady Lobos, putting a lot of pressure on number 11 from the St. John's Redskins, Kinley Crosby. So Many Farms, we're in the double bonus now. They have 10 team fouls. So Kinley Crosby's going to get 2 shots. Little under 2 minutes to go here. It's the 4th
Many
period.
Farms isn't giving up. I do like that they keep hustling.
Many Farms has played a great game. These girls came out. They traveled a long ways. It's late at night. A lot of times you have afternoon games on a Saturday, but Many Farms agreed to come down and play late at night. So they're hustling hard. I mean, they are really putting on a good show of how to keep going. Even though they're down by over 20 points, they haven't given up, and they're working hard.
And they've kept this game close, Many Farms has. So they're trying to work the ball in for
St. John's still in that man-to-man defense. It's been so effective for them tonight. Right now on the floor, you got Chantel Perry. You've got Brooke Smith. You've got, there's Christina Bushman underneath. And then, of course, I'm going to stop play here for just a second. There's a jump ball. Looks like the possession arrow is going to go to Many Farms. So they bring the ball in. Nice shot from the three-point line. It was on, but it was long. Comes off the glass. Raven Lindsay grabs the ball, throws it out of bounds. A little too far on that throw for her. Chantel Perry made a great hustle as a sophomore to try to get there. She almost got it. Goes out of bounds. Ball goes back to the Many Farm Lobos. We're winding down on about 1 minute here in the 4th quarter. That's a nice shot right there by number 43 of Many Farms. Miss Adria Linchado barely misses off the front. Chantel Perry brings the ball up for the St. John's Redskins. She drives the lane, dishes off to Christina Bushman, still by Many Farms. As they bring it back up the middle, you got Brooke Smith putting pressure on, but number 20. Nice score there by the Many Farms Lobos. St. John's up by 21, less than a minute to go. Raven Lindsay doesn't see the player behind her. The ball gets stolen by Many Farms. Goes back up the court. And Olivia Wilbank almost with the steal. Nice hustle there by her. Pushes it. Here's a three-point shot by number 43 from the Many. Adrian Linchado, number 43 from the Many Farm Lady Lobo. She is a nice three-point shot from that right corner. Almost gets the steal on the way back down the floor. There's 22 seconds to go. If you've enjoyed this broadcast, stay tuned. As soon as the game's over, we're going to have an on-the-floor live interview with Coach Ray Davis for the St. John's Lady Redskins, asking him some questions about what he thought the team did good, what they need to work on, what he's happy about or satisfied with. So we're going to be live on the floor as soon as the game's over. Raven Lindsay taking the ball in. Gets it to Olivia Wilbank. She shoots. Thought it was a foul, but it wasn't called. So Christina Bushman gets the ball and shoots again, misses. Olivia Wilbank with the rebound. Brooke Smith. And there's a shot by Chantel Perry that misses and fighting. Finally, you got it right there. That is a nice shot by Christina Bushman. I think that was the 5th shot St. John's attempted right there under the basket. Christina finally got the ball in. She gets fouled. St. John's is leading by 20. It's 49-29. There's 8 seconds to go here in the 4th period. Christina Bushman puts up her first shot, misses that on that possible three-point play there. Many Farms takes a beautiful shot from downtown on the half-court line. Just misses to the right. Game's over. Very nice. So we're going live on the floor. I hope you can hear us. Apologize.
I'm down here on the floor. I just want to check in with the people up and make sure they can hear me. All right. So St. John's has beaten many farms tonight here at the Verl Heap Gymnasium. The final score, 49-29. So we're hoping to get a couple of minutes with Coach Ray Davis here for some comments after the game and find out how he feels about his girls, maybe some things that he liked and didn't like after the game tonight, and find out what he's thinking with the girls.
Go up there and grab him, Coach. See what he has to say.
So, Coach Davis, what are some things that you saw that your team did well tonight?
Our defense is our key. As long as our defense travels and shows up night in, night out, we'll be competitive. We had a lapse in, I believe it was the first quarter. But, yeah, other than that, we're all right.
And what kind of things do you plan on working on next week at practice? I know the girls had 3 games this week. They looked a little bit tired. What kind of competition are you playing next week?
I know we have Sanders on Tuesday. We're going to work on being a more physical basketball team. That's one of our detriments is being physical in the paint. We've got to figure that out.
All right. So Brooke Patterson and Trishelle Johnson look like your leading scorers tonight, and your girls went to the line a lot. How do you plan on helping the girls with their offense, making sure they get the opportunity to score a little bit more?
It's about distribution of the basketball. Brooke and Trishelle are our instigators of the offense, but we have to improve on getting our head up and see the open person to pass the ball to.
All right. Thank you, Coach Davis. I appreciate your time, and we'll turn it back up to Michael Whiting in the booth. Thank you.
Coach Davis, that was awesome. Thank you so much for sharing those comments with us. St. John's goes on to win tonight, over 20 points over many farms. We're going to be checking out. Thank you to the Legacy Team Production in partnership with the Loft and Legacy Team Center, Superior Court Judge Michael Latham, Paul Hancock, Victor Chavez, and J.B. Engler, making all of that happen down at the Loft, keeping a great place for our kids to go. And one last shout out to our student production team members, Caden Castleberry, Joseph Holden, Eric Lilly, and Antonio Kinlichi. My name is By Whiting, checking out from the St. John's Verl Heap Gymnasium, January 11th, 2020. Congratulations to the St. John's Lady Redskins on a nice win tonight.